I don't even know why I call them episodes. They're not episodes. It's just me literally just working on my car. You gonna focus? Oh, manual focus. Duh. Alright, back at it on the 944. Today we're gonna lower the steering rack, or try to at least, then we're gonna reposition those fittings and see if we can get those tight, because we're looking at getting the battery hooked up soon. No wiring harness yet, so we can't get this beast started, but we're gonna try our absolute best to get everything ready to go so that when the harness does show up, we can plug it in and start it and test drive it and iron out issues as fast as possible, because I'm sick and tired of working on this thing and having it not run. So we're gonna hammer it out. Let's go. First task is getting this camera underneath the car in a position that you guys can see what's going on. I've got it plugged in because my battery was dead. Thanks again, Brian, for sending me a link to this fancy schmancy camera power adapter that's plugged into the outlet that my welder usually goes into and is now plugged into my camera. So I'm once again recording from a power outlet. And yeah, let's see what we can do. Plot twist, the tripod's too big. It's not gonna work for what we're doing, so we're just gonna freeball it, see what we can do. There we go. That works. Okay, so here's the steering rack. It's right here. I may drop the sway bar as well so that we can get some more clearance, but I also may just friggin' leave it there so it has something to rest on the tie rods. So friggin' wires, man. Alright, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, we're just gonna friggin' undo the rack mounts, and that should not take us very long because there's just like 4 bolts. So let's get that undone. Come on. Yup. Okay, that one. Alright. Now. Are there any more? I don't think so. So, I think now all that's left is the frictional force from previous tightening to the cross member and the tie rod ends. Ooh, yeah, she moves, so that's good. Okay, I mean it's really greasy, so I don't really want to touch it, but one of you in particular was complaining that last episode I wasn't actually doing anything, so here we go. Let's actually do something this episode. I don't know why people get so many views and so much money from just working on their cars. I mean, it's fun, but yeah. What else are you gonna do in friggin' quarantine? Like, oh, it's the friggin' steering column from the steering. Oh, here we go. It's moving now. I'm afraid that's not gonna come out much because friggin' steering column, and then that accessory bracket might not let me do much, but also I think there's a fitting that's not fitting. Thanks, Brian, for the pun. On the other side, it's blocking me from doing much, so let's see what we can find. Oh yeah, it's right friggin' there, okay. Alright, Yeah, and it's also hitting up there, so I may... Why did I do it like that? That's just not... Oh man. That's a mess. That is a nightmare. Why did I think that was a good idea? Alright. I need an automotive lift because this sucks. And it's gonna drip power steering fluid all over the place, so I'm gonna move out of the way. Good thing I did that in time because she is dripping good. Oh god, alright, let me get the freaking drip pan. It's probably good that I'm doing this now as well because I also need to drain the oil in my rear differential in the 4Runner. So now that I have the pan out, I'm now motivated to actually use it a little bit more and not just for the power steering fluid. So probably gonna do the rear differential fluid at some point. Not really sure when. I have the fluid in the truck, I've been procrastinating using it. Should probably get that done. Yeah, it's gonna be dripping for a while. Probably shouldn't have filled it, but this is how you check for leaks. You fill stuff up, and if it leaks, then you check it, and then you drain it. And then you adjust, and you get the point. In the meantime, I have my battery that's been sitting in my garage for 2 years. The last time I checked, it did power on some lights, so I think it does still have some charge. Let's see what happens when we plug it in. I'm gonna sit you guys right here for now. And then when we actually check the inside, I'll bring you inside the car and hopefully nothing catches on fire. Oh, alright. That's freaking great. Which one? Okay, got the right ones here. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna put it in the massive puddle of water. Battery tray? That's gross. Afraid Monica. You know what must have happened? When I used this battery to start up the Jetta, when I pulled this engine out of the car, I must have taken off the native terminal to get it onto the car and left it somewhere because this, show you guys, I guess, reach. This ground terminal is something weird. It uses like a screw. And then it usually screws into something here, but there's nothing there. So let me look around the container and see if I can find anything. So I'm a moron. Let me show you guys why. I saw that green friggin' screw and I didn't notice that on this cable there's already a crimp style connector for the negative. So we're just gonna take that off and we'll hook it up and that will work for now. But it is nice to know that I have one of these and I can utilize a crimp to screw type connector. So when we do get this thing ready to go, I'll have one of those connectors ready and we can utilize this instead of the sorry friggin' crimp style that just suck and take forever to get off. And these are much easier to get off because you can just unscrew it and it's just done. And it's better for these older style cars because you can really work on them a lot easier. So let's get that hooked up and then, ooh, careful there, girly. And then we will we'll see if the electronics are ready to go. Meanwhile, I think no, she's still dripping under there, so we're gonna let that sit for now, and then we'll come back to it in a bit. Just kind of fooling around at this point. Really, this doesn't need to be done. Well, it does, but I'm gonna drip if I put you over sideways. Maybe. It's okay. It's an old battery anyways, it doesn't really matter. Plus, hopefully, the current that this thing pushes out isn't enough to burn anything up, so the easy stuff will show its teeth first, and I can fix that before the hard stuff shows how much pain in the butt this is going to be. I'm going to disconnect the horn before I do any of this, because the last thing I want is a horn going off at friggin' 8 o'clock in the afternoon. Neighbors hating me, even though we're out in the middle of nowhere. But I did disconnect the ECU, and I believe that this has a factory alarm system. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm gonna research that, and I'm gonna probably have to bypass the alarm somehow. I do want an alarm in this car at some point, and that's going to be a pretty high priority once it's running and once it looks nice, because once it looks nice, people want to steal it. And screw you if you've ever stolen a car before, you're a piece of shit and I hate you. I've never had a car stolen before, but I know people who have, and it takes a huge toll on them, and it just sucks. If you steal cars, you're a piece of shit. But yeah, we're putting an alarm in this eventually, once it looks nice. It doesn't look nice right now, but it'll drive nicely, and that's the main objective of this, to make it drive nice. So, we're gonna take and disconnect the horn, and then we're gonna troubleshoot. Alright. Okay, horn is now disconnected. Let's plug in the battery. Alright. Cool. Let's see what this thing will do. Maybe this light will turn on. Hey, we got lights! Except my door sensors don't work. Which is... those are supposed to work, so I'm gonna have to fix that, but hey, we have a light. Maybe they do work. No, they don't. Okay. Let's see what happens when we plug the key in. I'm done installing the throttle cable, so we can move all these back to their somewhat original position. The lights. I didn't hear anything, but that's okay. You're not supposed to hear anything. Hey, the next ignition switch works. Lights, maybe? No. I doubt it. Oh, we do have a light. That one doesn't work, but I've unplugged it. That one works. Yeah, you can tell the battery is really just... that one works too. Cool. That one also works. Cool. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Obviously the engine wasn't going to turn over. I didn't expect it to, because we don't have the starter connected. And there's literally like nothing else plugged in, so I didn't really expect anything else to work. And that's just the potentiometer for the brightness. So let's turn those off. Those shouldn't work because I don't have them plugged in. I don't have these plugged in either. Yeah, that's not supposed to do that because I don't have that one plugged in. But it is nice to know that the flasher works. Ooh, maybe my hood release will work. I may have just killed the battery. We need more battery voltage, so we gotta charge this battery. Item number 2, charge the actual battery. But it is nice to know that this works. I mean, even though it's super dull, it's to be expected after 2 years of sitting and not charging. It's okay. Now that we're here, I may as well explain to you what we're actually doing. So here's my AC unit. I know it's dark, but you know, just bear with me. Here are the power wires for the controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip those, and we're going to hook those up to the 2 power wires out there. And then I'm going to hook those right up to 12 volt. This is the connector I'm going to use to power my center console. So we've got ground here, we've got 12 volt switched, which is going to go to my 12 volt source that's going to power my Arduino, and my 12 to 5 volt converter that's going to power these servos, which are going to turn the gears and turn the flaps. We'll get a full video on that soon. Not sure what these are, but we don't need them. And then we have the blue and white and the other blue and some others, and those go to oil pressure and lights for the interior, because the lights are controlled off this potentiometer right here on the light switch. So we got oil pressure, lights, 12 volt, ground, and a couple others I don't think we need, but these are going to go on, I believe, one of these. I think this one right here is what that's going to go to. This 12 pin German connector that I have, maybe. Not quite sure yet. I could put it into those. So that's one way I could rig that. And then, yeah, once this is all done, I'm going to wrap all these back in tape because this looks fucking horrible. It's a massive rat's nest that I need to clean up. This is for my power lock system right here. This goes to, fuck, where is it? This thing right here. This is my power lock receiver, and that basically just goes like right in there. Not really, but like it goes in like right here in the dashboard. And then this wire sticks up around here. So I may actually mount this somewhere inside behind the dashboard so that it's not fucking just shoved somewhere. That may be what I do. I think I may do that. I think I may mount this like right there maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Where should I mount my power lock receiver? But till then, that's gonna go right there with the rest of the crap that's on the ground. Hot glue gun, because I still need to mount one of the servos on the bottom of this heater unit, so that needs to happen. Trying to see if the blinker, oh no, blinkers obviously don't work because this isn't plugged in, but this was something cool that I did. So this thing right here, Brian, I don't know if you remember back when I first bought this car, me and Ben were taking this back from my old place of work at CMP. I went to go get my truck because my mom picked me up from work when we went to go to get this, and we went down in the Sequoia. So I had to leave my truck, which is out there. I had to leave my truck at work, and then my mom came and got me, and when me and Ben came back and got the truck from work, and this thing was having issues that whenever we would turn left, the horn would go off because this whole thing was just so loose that this horn contact was making contact with something. It was hitting the steering wheel frame or something, and this whole thing was just a rattling mess. So I'm really hoping that these screws, these new screws that I have that have nuts on the back, will hold this in place better so it's not flopping all around. And yeah, it feels like it shifts just so much better, because before it was just a floppy nightmare. But, you know, man, we'll figure it out, guys. Don't worry. This is not, you know, this really isn't a big deal. I've had this car apart so many times that this just looks normal. It's the way it's always looked. But, all right, let's check on steering rack. Let me unplug the battery too, because it needs to not discharge all the way. I want to have at least some charge in it. Cool. Now we know that works. Oh hey, it's still dripping. Nice. Nice. Alright. Well, whatever was left in the steering rack is now out. My glove is now covered in automatic transmission fluid. Sweet. Alright. This is why I got 2 paper towels so that I could wipe off my glove and tool. And the bolt that came out, banjo fitting, and literally everything else, because everything gets covered in this shit when you're working with it. Yeah, I may just pick this up tomorrow so we can all see everything. Okay, yeah, that's it for now. Peace.